Hello, I am Connie Kasari. I'm a professor at UCLA in human development and psychology, and also in the Semel Institute of Neuroscience and Behavioral Science. So I want to talk to you today about the development of play in children with autism. So what is play? So it's often described as the work of children, but this type of work is creative and enjoyable, and children are often very much driven to play. Pretend play in particular, and by its nature, is not rigid, it cannot be demanded by others, or approached as a task to be done. It's generative, it's pleasurable, and the ideas actually have to come from the children themselves. It's hard for us as adults. We can give suggestions, but if we're directing the child what to do in play, it's not really it's not really generative. It's not really creative play. So why is play important? So children around the world play. It's a common activity. Children play with objects in their environment, whether those toys are designed specifically for children or they're sticks and stones and household materials. Children will find things to play with. They can also play without materials and just using their imagination. So how do children play? Well, they play with others. They play with their siblings. They play with their parents. They play with other children in daycare settings and in schools. They also play alone, and that's important. It's important to be independent in your play as well. Both contexts provide insight into a child's thinking about their world. And why is play important in early interventions? Well, play provides a topic of conversation for an interaction. Play can also be the context for teaching other skills. We can teach children communication and language skills. We can teach problem solving and flexibility. We can help them engage with their peers and to develop friendships. So for children with autism in particular, play can be challenging and not always pleasurable. Children may have less interest in playing with toys or playing with others. They may use toys that are different from other children their age. They may do the same action over and over. They may have very restricted ways of playing with toys. And they also may not want the social partner to play with them. It's interesting that Kanner in the early 1940s, who described this series of 11 children or patients that he had with autism, noted differences in play. So just to quote a couple of these examples, he talked about Donald, who was constantly happy and busy entertaining himself, but resented being urged to play with certain things. Most of his actions were repetitions carried out in exactly the same way in which they'd been performed originally. He spun a block, he must always start with the same face uppermost. Or Elaine, she had a tendency to play alone and for long periods of time. He said Elaine was very restless, but when allowed to look at pictures, play alone with blocks, draw or string beads, she could entertain herself contentedly for hours. So those are really apt descriptions of the kinds of things that we see in children with autism today. So early intervention can address play in multiple ways. First, the teacher can teach the skills to play. So you may want to directly teach the skills if the child doesn't know how to play or plays in the same way over and over again. Our goal as professionals is to broaden the child's world, not narrow it. So if we allow the child to do the same thing over and over again, it's really narrowing their world. So we want to be careful about that. It's important to assess the child's play skills. There are many teacher-friendly assessments for play. And play is organized in a specific developmental hierarchy. So choosing the appropriate developmental target is important. So when we teach play skills, this is the kind of hierarchy that we see amongst all children. And we've categorized this into different chunks of skills. So there's simple play, and there's a number of different kind of skills. So a child may start out with very indiscriminate play, like mouthing toys or dropping toys off of the high chair. And then they become more discriminate. So they can press a button like on a pop-up toy. And then it's easier to take apart toys than it is to put them together. So we start with simple play. We then can start to put toys together in combination play. Then we start to see some pre-symbolic play, not yet symbolic, but it's on the way to becoming symbolic. And then we have symbolic play. And all of this occurs in the first really 2 to 3 years of a child's development. And I'll go through each of these. So simple play is really just exploring objects and their function. And I've already explained a little bit of those. So we might see a child, well, I'll show you this one where the child is just taking apart the stack of toys.
Take off. Take off.
So most of the kids we see with autism, because we're seeing them, usually around 2 or maybe a little younger, they're usually at this level of either discriminant acts or combination play. So combination play involves putting objects together in a meaningful way. So the lowest level of this category is presentation combination, and that's putting objects in a designated spot. So it could be a puzzle, or putting the coins in that little slot of the piggy bank. Here is a little girl who is putting the candy on the little piece of Velcro. So a designated spot.
Candy. Fun. Candy.
So that's an example of presentation combination. Now, a child could also just put objects together in any way. So this would be stacking blocks, stacking cups in any way.
Up. Up. More. Oh. Put on.
So the next category is a large one, and we categorize these into pre-symbolic acts and combinations, because the combination play, while it is still putting things together, has a little bit more imagination in it. So the lowest category or skill here is pretend self. It's where you take a familiar action towards yourself. So feeding yourself, or in this case, also feeding mom.
So good. I'll get you some juice. Here you go. Here's some juice for you. Here's some juice for you.
Physical combination is where the child is putting things together in combination play, but here it's to make something specific. So you need to look for other clues in the child's play. Are they building a house or a rocket ship or something else? In this case, you'll see the child wants to build a rocket ship.
Oh, don't we make after we make a rocket ship for it?
Yeah, we can make another rocket ship for the other people. Let's build it. We need
a one with a Katie.
Yeah, like the one you made with Katie. We build the base first. And And we need the wings. Here's the base. The wall. The wings.
Oh, one more.
One more wing.
No, I have this wing.
Oh, you found it. Nice.
This one.
Nice
I'm
work.
missing, oh.
So it's clear that he's putting those magnet tiles together to build a rocket ship. And here is child as agent, where the child extends a familiar action to a figure. So stuffed animal, you know, some figurine, but the child is the agent making the action.
Eat ice cream. Eat the ice cream. Eat vanilla ice cream. Oh, too much ice cream. There's too much. Oh, eat ice cream.
So the next level in this category is conventional combination. Here, you're putting together objects based on a custom or an experience. Setting the table, for example. In this case, they're putting ice cream, I think, in pots and pans.
I want to taste blue.
Ooh, you want to taste the blueberry ice cream? Okay, I'm gonna get a scoop of this chocolate ice cream. Mmm, looks so yummy.
I want to scoop blue. A scoop with this ice cream.
Ooh, a scoop of more chocolate ice cream.
And then a single scheme is where you take the same action, so child as agent, to multiple characters. In this case, the teacher is prompting it, but it's a way of teaching.
Cookies.
Mmm, cookies. And cookies for you. Eat cookies. So full.
So you can see a child who lines up the, you know, a whole line of dolls and then feeds each one in turn or brushes each one's hair. That would be a single scheme. Then symbolic play involves the representational use of objects, and the lowest level of symbolic play is substitution with object. So it's pretending that one object is something else, like in the clip that you saw earlier, where the tile might be a TV. Or in this case, you have substitution without object. So the little girl is pretending that something is there when it isn't.
It's a party.
It's a party in our home.
I will tie the balloons. I will tie the balloons.
I can help.
I climbed the ladder.
I climbed up too.
And then doll as agent is where the doll has life. So now the doll performs the action.
Oh, I love the playground.
I'm gonna go up here. I'm gonna go up here.
I'm climbing up the slide.
And a multi-scheme is where the doll can have multiple actions. So maybe the doll rides the horse to school, then rides the horse back to home, right? So there's a whole little story, a whole little scheme of actions. Children, as they get, a little bit older, can also do socio-dramatic play. They might enact a familiar role, something that they would have experienced themselves, or thematic play where it's a fantasy role, like a princess or the devil. So I'll show you this little socio-dramatic.
Oh no, here, do you want to share some of mine?
No.
Oh,
Well, let me call your mom.
okay. Boop, 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 boop. Hey, Miss Jolie, do you want me to be the mom?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 6. Hello.
Hi. Hi, Miss Jolie.
Okay. The brother didn't have his snack today.
Uh-oh. Can you give him some pears? I think there's some in the nurse's office.
Oh. Well, okay. Well, the sister is gonna share her.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a good idea.
Okay.
Thanks for letting me know.
Okay. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Your mom said your sister's gonna share your snack.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a good plan.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, so what are the goals for play skills? So the goal for children with autism first is increase frequency, diversity, and complexity of spontaneous play. So what the child can produce on their own. Sometimes we need to increase frequency because we want children to have interest in objects or toys, but also diversity and complexity. So when we talk about frequency, we're really referring to spontaneous play acts, not just prompted. Diversity refers to a variation in actions at the same play level. So let's say that you're all a child as agent. So you're doing things, the child is doing things to a character. Are they doing just feeding? That's not enough diversity. We would want them to be feeding, to brushing the hair, to doing a lot of different acts to show us that they have that diversity. And then that tells us whether or not they've really mastered that play level. So in this case, the little girl is doing several different acts all at the same play level.
I need a haircut too.
Snip, snip, snip.
Hair.
Snip, snip, snip.
I'm your friend. I can see.
I see the beautiful hair.
I see the beautiful hair. I need a blow dryer.
Oh, here's your blow dryer.
Does it make any sound?
No, no sound.
So diversity is really important for children with autism because they can get kind of stuck doing the same action over and over. So again, we want to broaden their world and not narrow it. Complexity refers to an increase in play level. And if we follow the developmental sequence, so we don't jump too far ahead and we don't stay too far behind, we can actually increase the level in which they're playing. And that's important because as children move closer to symbolic play, their language typically improves as well. Social play is also important. So while we're teaching children play skills, we also want to be mindful of teaching children to play with others. So children may have those play skills when they're playing alone, but have difficulty engaging with other people. And so sometimes social play is easier with an adult for some children before transitioning to peers, but it just depends. Others, you can mediate the interventions, the play skills with peers right from the beginning. So when we think about teaching social play, then we're talking about different kinds of hierarchies of skills. And this is what can be confusing with play. So people interchange these. But a lot of times we're talking about social play. So a child, for example, may be on the playground and be solitary, not playing with anyone. They also may be onlooking, like we see with parents. They can just be watching the action. But in this case, they might just be watching other children playing. And sometimes they do that for a little while to sort of understand the rules or how to engage. Then children might be parallel playing. They might be just near somebody and playing, or they might be near somebody and really aware of what the other person is doing. So they have the opportunity to model those play skills. And of course, those are a little bit lower levels of engagement than what we are sort of our target, which would be joint engagement. So having the student play with other peers in a conversation or in some activity. And then games with rules turns out to be even harder. So being able to play in a game of soccer or basketball or foursquare. And so we have information on these different levels in an intervention called Remaking Recess, which is free and available. And it really focuses on what adults in the school environment can do to change the engagement levels of their children. So what strategies can teachers use then to teach both play skills and play interactions? So play skills, you might use direct instruction, or you could also use it within the play context. So I'm going to show you a couple of examples of different interventions, and both can be effective. So here is direct instruction. This is using discrete trial training, a form of applied behavior analysis, and this is from the symbolic play program. So let's watch.
Answer phone.
Hello.
You got it. Do this. Pretend to be T-Rex.
Whoa.
Yeah, bud. You got it. Pretend book is piano. You are so smart. One more time. Pretend book is piano. Wow, nice working.
So you can see in this case, the ideas are coming from the adult and she's teaching some symbolic play targets, and the child is doing those, complying and doing those in a more discrete, repetitive way. And some kids will learn to play that way. Others will need to learn within the context of a more naturalistic developmental behavioral intervention. And so here is a therapist working with a child in the library, and they are doing a different intervention in order to teach those play skills.
I see the tiles.
Where's the treasure?
Let's find the treasure.
There she is.
Oh, there's the treasure.
Oh,
Oh,
I got the money.
oh, I have money too.
I got corner.
You have coins. Oh, I have coins too.
Get you.
Oh, I have so much treasure.
Let's find it.
Let's find it.
Tiles in the birthday.
I see a birthday.
Perfect. This is everything's smooth for speaking.
Oh.
Shady.
Arg, say the pirates.
Yes, you.
Arg, say the pirates.
Ah. Ready to birthday. Yes, it. Let's put this up. Mash. And there's on tiles.
I see lots of tiles.
Ah!
Oh!
You can read?
You just said start.
Whoa.
I see the treasure!
Look at Jason, look it!
What is it?
The tile's trashy.
Oh, the tiles are trashed?
Crashing.
Oh, crashing.
Ooh, look at the treasure. Necklace.
I have a necklace!
Oh. Oh.
Yours is so pretty.
So you can see in both of those examples, there's some cycling between different levels of play. The goal is symbolic play in both of those. They're just using different strategies to sort of get there. But within the context of this play routine, you can teach many different things: communication, language, some problem solving, and so on. So a teacher may choose both types of strategies at different times or with different children. And teachers, again, need to assess the child's skills and then fit the intervention strategy into the environment that they have, either the classroom or the home. So it may be that it's one-on-one in some school settings, in others it's in small groups. And it's important to sort of think that through as you try to improve children's play skills. So here's a little case study of a child, 4-year-old, minimally verbal, had no words to begin in intervention. And just to show you the progression of play and how language has improved now with the play as the context. So at the start of intervention, he is at what we would say presentation combination. He's putting little people inside a bus that has little pegs where the people fit. So you can tell he's at a school. He's getting his intervention in school. This is about halfway through, so it's about 3 months into an intervention. And for this little guy, he needs communication support. So he has an augmentative device, an iPad with software that, you press the picture and it says the word. And you'll see that they're playing a play. So already his play has improved in terms of level, complexity of play, and his communication has improved.
Hey! Hey! Hey!
Let me in!
Yes!
Yes, in.
Hey!
Hey! Knock.
Hey!
Open.
Can I come in?
Yes!
Yes. Open.
Open!
Open triangle.
Open. Triangle.
Ho!
Hello. Close.
Oh. Hi. Close.
Block. Close.
Bo! Ba!
Oh, need more blocks.
Block. More.
Bo! Ba! Be! Be!
Build more blocks.
So you can see where play is this topic of conversation where you can teach many other things. And he's doing well with the augmentative device. And this is at 6 months. So from the start of intervention. And now he is not using the augmentative device. He still, has language delay, but he is communicating. And the important thing here is that he is also using the doll as agent. So he's doing symbolic play, and his language goes along with symbolic play.
Building squares with Goofy. Let's build, Mickey. I'm building with Goofy.
Mickey.
I'm building with Goofy.
Mickey.
I'm building with Goofy. Uh-oh. Fix it. Mickey's fixing.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
trash.
Big crash. Let's fix.
Beach.
Goofy's fixing.
Beaches. Beaches.
Goofy fixed it.
Right, so he's got symbolic play, plus he's got the physical combination. So, you know, a variety of play levels, but he's talking more. The subtitles was what he was saying. And so you can use play to not only increase diversity and complexity, but also to teach other things within that context. Strategies can also be embedded within peer interactions, and this is really common in school settings. So a real world example in an authentic public school is to use very simple strategies to first enhance your environment. In other words, provide access for children to engage with each other and to be productive in their sort of peer interactions and activities. So here's a very simple real world example in a public school near us, where the therapist is just getting the kids together, teaching them a game, using a peer to bring in a child who is not involved, who is isolated, and then the adult fading out. So very simple strategies. Easy to do, but often not done.
Once upon a time there was a fairy. Okay, now what with our sheep? Oh my gosh, that's so good. Okay, who's next? Okay, you go. Oh, you're cute. A happy face. So once upon a time there was a fairy, and the fairy made the sheep disappear. And then a happy face appeared. Okay, who's next? Okay, you go. Okay, you go. Okay, I'm gonna come back in a couple minutes. Okay, keep it going. Here's another dice. Oh, someone tell her what we're playing. Okay, I'll be back in a couple minutes, okay?
Okay, so you can do those kinds of activities, or you can have other strategies that may involve direct instruction. So in this case, teachers and paraprofessionals actually teaching direct skills. Visuals can also be effective. So social menus for conversation starters or individualized social stories. Okay. So in summary, play is important in children's development, and all children, including those with disabilities and autism specifically, need to work on their play skills. Teachers can be instrumental in direct instruction and in providing access for engagement with materials and peers in the natural environment. A lot of times we don't pay enough attention to those unstructured social times, but they're really critical for learning lots of different things, from play skills to problem solving to language and communication. And there are specific interventions that are available that are targeted on play skill development and peer engagement that have been tested in school and home settings with positive outcomes. So I would encourage you to look for those. And if you need more information on any of the ones that we've talked about, you can reach me at any of these 3 places. So thank you.